That's it, we have it. The tax clarification for the CPB regime in Italy. So, stay up to the end of this video because I'm going to explain you how to squeeze down your corporate tax in Italy and in certain cases how to pay almost zero taxes. My name is Andrea Papito and this is ESENtaxa. We help people to understand how to pay less tax possible if they want to relocate to a specific country. We are the #1 channel that in English language explain all the details of the Italian tax system, and we explain in details but also in a very simple manner the way to understand taxes and see if a certain relocation makes sense in your specific case tax-wise. So, in this specific video, I want to discuss about the new CPB regime. I already talked about this regime in my previous videos here in ESENtaxa. I explain you exactly on the board how it works, but back then I didn't have the final tax clarification of the Italian tax agency. Now we have the tax clarification here of the Italian tax agency. That means that this very interesting special tax regime, not just it's a law, but it also has the final clarification and the operative instruction to apply it and use it. So now I can be basically precise on every single aspect of this tax regime. Before I move forward, I just want to remind you that in the description below the video you have our email contact info@esentaxa.com and also our calendar link to book a consultation of just 20 minutes if you have very few questions to discuss, very few topics that we can solve, or 1 hour call, 2 hours call, or with tax simulation that basically with numbers you will understand exactly if the relocation to a specific country makes sense for you or not. So, let me remind you again the CPB tax regime, what it's about. It's basically an agreement with the Italian tax agency that allows you to freeze your taxes for 2 consecutive years. You not just freeze your taxes, but you also freeze your taxable income. And that's the reason why you freeze your taxes as well. Because basically you agreed with the Italian tax agency an amount of income, an amount of profit, basically that you're supposed to have in the following future years, in 2 future years. That's simple. So it works basically for those who preview to have a huge amount of increasing of profit. This is very important to understand. It's a tax regime that works only if you're sure to make more profit in comparison with your previous years. Easy. If you're uncertain of your future, about your activity, about your business, this tax regime is absolutely not for you. In the tax clarification has been clarified that you can apply this regime multiple times, so that's good, but also clarified some limits. So it means that above 7 million euro you cannot apply this regime. Basically you automatically exit this regime. And what about if you fail this regime? It means that you agree with the amount of profit, you pay taxes on this profit regardless your real income, and then your real income is lower than what you have agreed. Here also it's a problem, so that's why I said before you have to make sure that you make more money, otherwise it makes no sense. But still in this case you have situations where the Italian tax agent can basically help you to exit this regime in case you're really experiencing a lot of losses, a huge amount of losses in exceptional cases. So don't worry, there is also a backup plan. Anyway, I want to give you numbers, how much you can squeeze your corporate tax, for example, if you're running a business with your company using this tax regime. So imagine you have a company that runs a business in Italy. The first year of activity you cannot exit the CPB regime, you have to run your business ordinarily. You have your company, you're making your profit, but you keep your profit as low as possible. Basically you start up your business, it's fine, it could happen, you have very low profit. Second year still, you keep a very low profit, low as possible. But then, from the second year of activity, the Italian tax agency has enough history to estimate your projected and virtual and agreed income or profit. So, and then you can basically, from the third year, apply for the CPB tax regime and ask the tax agency how much do you estimate my profit for the following 2 years. It will come for sure a slightly higher amount probably, and if you accept you will pay taxes on this higher amount. For example, my profit is only 10,000 euro after all the costs and after all the expenses, because I kept it as low as possible, okay? Then what I do, I ask the agreement for the CPB tax regime. The tax agency estimates 12,000, okay, good. But then in reality, my projection is 100,000 euro in profit, and I'm going to keep paying my corporate Italian tax on 12,000. So my Italian corporate tax is 24%. I'm going to pay 24% for the next 2 years on 12,000 rather than 100,000. So my actual rate, it's around 2.5%, 2.6% tax pressure. It's crazy low. And if I make 1 million profit, just make a calculation, 0.2 or 0.25, 26% tax pressure. This tax regime also works for freelancer, so it's not just working for companies, also if you are running a business with ordinary regimes in Italy, and it works also for forfait regime as well, but it's an experimental year, so we don't know if the government will renew this tax regime also for forfait regime people. And unfortunately it's not compatible, the CPB regime is not compatible, you cannot accumulate it with the impatriate regime. Okay, I think I said all you want to know about the way of decrease, squeeze, destroy your corporate tax in Italy. You might also end up paying almost 0% taxes with your corporate tax thanks to the CPB regime in certain conditions, of course. In the description below the video, as I said before, you have our calendar link to book a consultation, because this specific tax regime must be carefully evaluated with you. We have to make sure that you can apply first. There are some other criteria that I didn't explain in this video, but it's important to discuss in a consultancy. And also we have to make sure that you will project to have higher income, higher profit for the following years, otherwise absolutely make no sense. If you want to stay informed for free about this kind of news on Italian jurisdiction or other jurisdiction in Europe, just subscribe the channel, notification bell, and like button to be always updated whenever we release this kind of content. See you, and thank you for watching. See you the next time. Bye.